Hello everybody, Tyler on the Guy 3 here. I know that this segment of Fanfic Fridays isn't on Friday, but I had to actually postpone this one a bit because last night we were doing the stream. I don't know if you guys have checked it out or not. If you're subscribed to John's channel, then I'm sure you would have seen it. JPR Trainer. I'll put a link in the description for his channel. Also, if you guys want to check out the stream, it's not streaming anymore. It's just a long recorded video, I'm sure. But we did a stream for the Coral Countdowns, where we were basically streaming until the Coral scans get released, and so you can check that out. We had a really great time just joking around and talking about various topics, and we answered a few questions from the fans. So yeah, check that out. It's really fun. It was really great. If you haven't subscribed to JPR already, go ahead. He's a really great dude, along with TSS, because he joins the party too. TSS doesn't have a channel, but you can follow him on Twitter. And they are basically the newest partners that I've teamed up with recently, along with KG and Dean and Chornik. So, yeah, go check them out. They make some really great stuff. TSS is a really cool dude. JPR, also known as John, he's really cool as well. So, with that said, shameless advertisement aside, this is Pokemon Universe, Episode 5, Fake Gym, Battle with the Gambler. This episode was an episode I wrote a long time ago, and really looking back at it, it's one of the episodes I'm really proud of. So, let's start the summary. The episode begins with Trent and Luna and their training. And while they're training using, with Trent using Pichu and Luna using Misdreavus. While this is happening in the field, Coda is taking pictures of various, woodland Pokemon. And Trent and Luna start the battle. When they start the battle, they start off with Misdreavus using Psybeam and Trent using Thundershock. Since Psybeam at this point is clearly stronger than Thundershock, it just outclasses Thundershock and Pichu gets hit. He also gets hit by the Thundershock's recoil. So after that, Trent tries to use Thunder Wave, and Misdreavus dodges it and uses Dark Pulse. Trent dodges the Dark Pulse, but the Dark Pulse was just a distraction attack so that Luna could tell Misdreavus to use Astonish. So then Misdreavus uses Astonish and Pikachu gets hit and falls back. After that, Luna decides to go ahead and take a break. She stated that they need to take a break. Trent's eager to keep going in the battle, but Luna's like, no, because she can clearly see that Misdreavus and her are miles ahead of Trent at this point. So then at this point, Trent gets a little frustrated at the fact that him and Pichu aren't strong enough to take him, even though they've won previous battles before in episodes. Luna then states that that's a completely different story because Trent and Pichu, as well as Trent's other Pokemon, they've battled against wild Pokemon at this point, which is a completely different story than battling a Pokemon trained by a trainer. While this is all happening, this conversation's happening, it's funny, Misdreavus is actually messing with Pichu, because Pichu's eating an apple, and Misdreavus uses Astonish, and phases up from underground and scares Pichu a little bit. I thought that was pretty funny that I wrote that in. While this is happening, Coda and Magnemite are in the area. Coda's taking pictures, and the sound from the camera wakes up the Rattata and frustrates them, so the Rattata horde runs and chases after Coda. When they chase after Coda, one of them even bites Coda on the butt. And that was funny because he's still getting chased by this horde. Then after that, Coda asks for help. Luna uses Kaitini, and Kaitini uses Grass Whistle and sends the Rattata to sleep. Once the Rattata go to sleep, everything's all good. Luna then asks Coda where the next town is, and Coda is able to point out that the next town is actually really close by. It's called Bluebell Town. So they all head into town. Once they all head into Bluebell Town, and before that, Luna discussed that the reason Trent is not doing so well in battles, in the battle that they were in, is because Trent and Pichu have this problem in the battle where they just attack without purpose. They don't have a plan behind attacking. They just keep brainlessly attacking, hoping that the attacks will go through and hit the opponent, which isn't going to fly when you're fighting a human trained Pokemon. Once they head into town, they end up going to the Pokemon Center. It's here where Trent learns about the Pokemon Center, and he learns that Nurse Joy will heal Pokemon every time. And he also learns, that this is where you can go if you need to rest. They're basically in every town. After this, Trent then sees the poster promoting the Pokemon League in a similar fashion to how Ash saw it one time. When Trent sees the poster promoting the Pokemon League, he is in a big hurry to go ahead and challenge the Pokemon League and become champion. Luna then looks at him and just embarrassment, as in, wow, you're not even... You don't even have any badges yet. And Trent doesn't know the concept of the badges. He's like, what are you talking about? At this point, Nurse Joy then explains to Trent that each trainer that wants to compete in the Pokemon League has to go from town to town challenging gym leaders and earning badges. And you earn about 8. And once you earn 8, you can enter the Pokemon League. So once Trent finally learns the concept of this, he's really eager to challenge the gym leader and ask Coda is there a gym leader in Bluebell. Coda then states that there's no gym leader in the town that they're in right now, Bluebell Town. So Trent feels like he's wasting his time in Bluebell Town and actually wants to move on to the next town. Luna tells Trent this is out of the question, however, due to the fact that everybody's injured, Coda's butt included, because of the Rattata bite and that they make fun of. So yeah, it's out of the question because the Pokemon need to rest, and it's getting late. So at this point, Trent gets a little frustrated about it, and he just sort of stays behind while Luna and Coda head back to the head back to the Pokemon Center rooms in order to go to their respective beds and get some sleep. But before all of that even happens, Officer Jenny comes in, and Officer Jenny makes the announcement that there is a gambler out in Bluebell Town, and what he's doing, he's challenging trainers to battles and wagering Pokemon, so that if you lose the battle, you lose your Pokemon. Luna and Coda listen to Officer Jenny's announcement. Trent is hidden under a chair while all of this is happening, trying to stay out of Officer Jenny's line of sight. Once Officer Jenny gives the announcement, if you see the gambler, contact me as soon as possible, she leaves. Once she leaves, Trent comes out of hiding, and Luna and Coda look at Trent like, well, what was that about? Trent then explains in a flashback that he has a bad experience with Officer Jenny since he used to be a troublemaker. He used to be a troublemaker. While he was in Cherryville Town, he used to pull pranks all the time on people, so much to the point where people would call up Officer Jenny, and Officer Jenny would have Growlithe chase after him, and he'd even get bitten sometimes by the Growlithe in order to be subdued and arrested. And he just has a bad experience with Officer Jenny. Although Nurse Joy corrects Trent and says that that's not the exact same Officer Jenny, but Trent still gets a bad feeling when he sees Officer Jenny, so prepare for that running gag every time Officer Jenny shows up. It's just Trent doesn't really want to concern himself with Officer Jenny's because of that, because he's a ruffian. Anyway, when that happens, they end up heading off to sleep, Luna and Coda. Trent stays behind to look at the Pokemon League poster. And while that's all happening, there's this mysterious man who's sitting in the Pokemon Center lobby as well. And he states, hey, I heard you want to challenge a gym. What if I told you that there is a gym in Bluebell Town and I happen to be the gym leader? So he tells Trent that he's the gym leader of the Bluebell Town gym, even though Coda stated that there was no gym. Trent points this out, and the gambler, it's kind of obvious. The guy in the shady outfit is like, you know what? It's a new gym. It's not shown up on a map yet. Just follow me. So the shady guy brings Trent in, and Trent follows him in order to challenge the gym that he believes is there. Nurse Joy sees all of this and then gets very suspicious. Meanwhile, we see Trent and the shady guy are in front of this really old abandoned warehouse, and Trent states, isn't this a little too run down to be a Pokemon gym? The shady guy goes, hey, it just needs some renovations. It's new. He's tricking him. So when the shady guy and Trent go into the abandoned warehouse, once they go into the warehouse, two guys close the doors and lock them. Once they close the door and lock them, they're about to battle, quote unquote, and the shady guy reveals himself, and this is where he makes the revelation that he's the gambler. Once he makes the revelation that he's the gambler, he, chooses to battle Trent for wagering his Pokemon this time. And Trent overheard Officer Jenny, even though he hid from her, and declines the battle at first. But the guys, the gambler's two, like, lackeys, have locked the door. So if he wants to escape, he needs to accept the battle. So at this point, the Trent has no choice but to go ahead and accept the battle. And at this point, the battle's on. Now, when the battle starts off, it's a 3-on-3 battle, best 2 out of 3 wins. So whoever gets 2 wins in this entire battle will win the whole thing. The battle starts off with Trent going ahead and using his Eevee, and one of the lackeys points out that Trent's Eevee is shiny, so that encourages the gambler to win this battle because, who doesn't want a shiny Pokemon? The gambler starts off using Rattata, and when the battle starts off, Rattata ends up overpowering Eevee because its quick attack is stronger than Eevee's tackle. Then, at this point, Trent checks Eevee's other attacks and learns that Eevee knows the attack Baby Doll Eyes. So Trent tells Eevee to use Baby Doll Eyes, and when Eevee uses Baby Doll Eyes several times, at first it doesn't show to really do anything, but we see that later Rattata's attacks are slowly not doing as much damage, to the point where they do little to next to nothing. He uses Baby Doll Eyes about 2 times, and then he uses Tail Whip instead. And on the outside end, it doesn't look like they're doing much, but then Trent turns the tables when Rattata uses Bite on Eevee's tail after the Tail Whip, and it doesn't do a lot. So now Eevee is wide open to hit Rattata with Tackle. It does extra damage thanks to the Tail Whip, and Rattata gets knocked out. So Trent won the first battle. The next battle, the gambler ends up using Zubat. Trent returns Eevee and uses his Hoot Hoot, because he wants to fight flying with flying. And when they're fighting in the skies, it's clear that Zubat is faster and stronger than Hoot Hoot, because Hoot Hoot starts off with Hypnosis and Zubat counters with Supersonic. The 2 waves cancel out. But Zubat has an edge because it's using Wing Attack on Hoot Hoot. So it's hitting Hoot Hoot on all sides with Wing Attack. Then, when Hoot Hoot tries to get an opening in with Peck, Zubat tricks them, and they end up using Supersonic, which confuses Hoot Hoot. Hoot Hoot keeps attacking itself in confusion, and Zubat finishes it up with Wing Attack, and Hoot Hoot's knocked out. So with that said, the battle's tied 1-1. So the next winner will decide the battle. Trent returns Hoot Hoot and figures it'd be no point in using Eevee because Eevee just got done battling, Rattata, so it's weakened. So Trent has no choice at this point but to go ahead and use Pichu. He uses Pichu, and the gambler decides to go ahead and return Zubat because, Zubat's weak against electric-type Pokemon. At this point, he decides to go ahead and use Ekans. We cut to the Pokemon Center where Nurse Joy busts into the rooms and wakes up Coda and Luna and tells them that Trent is missing. And she believes that the gambler's the one behind it, who was disguised as the shady guy from before. So at this point, Coda and Luna, and they both get up and rush to where this warehouse is because Officer Jenny, she called Officer Jenny ahead of time. Officer Jenny searches the city and confirms that he's at a warehouse. Once they confirm that the gambler's at a warehouse, Officer Jenny heads out to go there while Luna and Coda, follow after. Once they follow after, we cut back to the battle. When we cut back to the battle, this is pretty funny actually. The Pokédex shows the Ekans' Pokédex, and I use real Pokédex entries from the actual games. And it says that Ekans waits in order to eat Spearow and Pidgey eggs. Pichu tries to compare its size to the eggs, and they're not too far apart, so Pichu just sort of freaks out. And then Officer Jenny busts into the warehouse, breaks the door down with a motorcycle, and they're like, whoa, Officer Jenny's here. And Officer Jenny placed all 3 of them under arrest. Coda and Luna show up shortly after. And the battle's about to begin. When the battle's about to begin, Officer Jenny's like, you don't need to battle anymore. I'm going to go ahead and arrest these guys. Trent actually declines Officer Jenny arresting them at this moment. He's like, after the battle, you can do whatever you want, but I want to finish this battle. Luna and Koda are like refusing that Trent ends the battle because he doesn't have to battle anymore. He doesn't have to put his Pokemon on the line like that. Trent insists that the battle continues, however, and Luna decides to go ahead and agree with Trent to let him continue the battle. And then Officer Jenny finally says, okay, but I'm still arresting them afterwards. The gambler decides, hey, so if I'm going to lose, or if I'm going to get arrested, I might as well take out Brat first. And Trent even agrees that if he loses, he'll still give up his Pokemon. Trent follows a really hard moral standard, I guess you can say. And because of that, he refuses to simply just give up right then and there. So the battle continues. And when the battle continues, he uses Ekans and Trent uses Pichu, and the battle starts off. He has Pichu charge in for Headbutt. Ekans uses Dig, and they can't keep track, so Pichu ends up getting hit with Dig. Once Pichu gets hit with Dig, it's a heavy damaging attack because, Dig's a ground type move. So it looks really bad. If Pichu gets hit by another Dig, it's over. Luna and Koda are really worried that Trent's going to lose this battle. And then even Trent starts to get nervous now because he realizes if he loses this, he loses his Pokemon. He's starting to get attached to his Pokemon now. At this point, Trent decides to think back on what Luna said way back at the beginning of the episode where she states that Trent just attacks without purpose. Trent finally decides to do something about it. He has Pichu attack using Headbutt on purpose again, using Headbutt. The gambler then states that he's going to go ahead, and this is in his mind, obviously. He wants Ekans to use Dig and then hit Pichu while it's wide open. So he tells Ekans to use Dig. Just then, Trent tells Pichu to stop the incoming Headbutt that he was going to use on Ekans. So Pichu does stop in front of the hole that Ekans just made, and then tells Pichu to use Thunder Wave. Pichu uses Thunder Wave straight down into the hole, and it hits Ekans, and Ekans comes back up paralyzed. Once he comes back up paralyzed, it makes him wide open, and Trent tells Pichu to combine Thunder Shock with Headbutt. So Pichu uses a Thunder Shock Headbutt combination, hits Ekans directly. Ekans flies back and is knocked out, and Trent officially wins his first Pokemon Trainer battle. After that's said and done, he's all happy about the fact that he won, and everybody shows to be proud of him, like Luna and Koda. They're very proud of how he's gotten that much stronger in that battle. Officer Jenny thanks Trent, and Trent stays back and shivers because Officer Jenny is like, hey, you might make a good policeman one day, and Trent's like, nah, I don't do well with cops, and he just shivers and stays away. So after that, Nurse Joy reveals to Trent that one of the first gyms that he can go to is actually in River City. And once he learns that, Koda puts in the coordinates and he knows where River City is. Trent then gets fired up and runs to the direction. Luna states that he's got to slow down, and Koda follows in after. So they're now headed to River City with Trent having high hopes of earning his first badge, and with that, the episode's basically over. I gotta say, I really liked this episode for several reasons. It's essential to the plot, obviously, because it's a startup for Trent. It's a really good Trent, focused episode, obviously. He ends up getting fooled by the gambler and winds up in a battle where his Pokemon could be lost. So the stakes are really high for him. And this is official Pokemon trainer battle, too. I even type in, when I'm writing, I even typed in the little versus screen, the Trent versus, yeah. So this is his first official battle. A lot was at stake here. We got to see him utilize all his Pokemon too, so I thought that was pretty good. And I really liked the idea behind it when I was thinking about it. Looking back on it, it feels a little short, but at the same time, well, compared to future episodes I write. But for this one, it was really good because, it's Trent starting off. It's his first major, I want to say it's his first major staple trainer battle. because it wasn't just a training match, it was an actual battle against another trainer this time, other than his rival, which he got curb stomped by. So, yeah, I thought it was really good. It was a really big step up for Trent. Him, Pichu, the rest of his Pokemon really grew from this battle alone. Because it also got his spirits up, because, losing the Kaz probably did a lot to him. But, yeah, I really liked the way this episode was set up. I like the running gag of Officer Jenny, which I implement a lot within the series, because Officer Jenny does show up more than once. So I tried my best to throw that in there. Yeah, it's just a really good episode for Trent to get him started. I didn't want to get him up and running into gyms right away. I wanted to make a transition to it. And I remember in the last episode, one of you fans, I'm sorry if I forgot your name at this point, but I can't look back. One of the fans actually states, so in the next episode we confirmed that Trent is battling for gym battles. I like to think, yes, that is a perfect way to state it like that. Because, yeah, in that episode, that is what happens. Trent is officially confirmed to start battling for gyms, because he learns how to go to the Pokemon League. Because, yes, at first he just wanted to go straight to the league. He didn't know about anything else. All he knew was the league is a thing I need to go to in order to become champion to beat my dad. That's it. Those are the only things he knew. So I gotta say, this was a big step up for him, because now he's got a plot. The series has an actual plot. I mean, it had a plot before, obviously. It's just the plot's finally up and running now. I like to think that episode 5 is the plot starter episode. The episodes before that were introduction. So yeah, that's really good. I liked that. I liked the idea of the gambler. I know the scene with Trent and the gambler going into the warehouse seems a little suggestive, but obviously it's a trick, and it's just to get him to wager his Pokemon. The gambler isn't a hardcore criminal, but gambling Pokemon is obviously illegal. So I wanted to make that a thing. And the introduction to the Pokemon Center is very important for, our heroes and stuff like that. I like to think Nurse Joy was actually more useful in this episode than I made her out to be. I didn't want her, when writing, I didn't know she was going to be that damn useful until I finally looked at her wow, she did a lot here today. If she didn't do anything, Coda and Luna wouldn't have saved Trent, or none of that would have happened. He would have wound up in the battle stuck. So, yeah. Other than that, really, really decent episode. I liked it. What did you guys think about it ultimately? It doesn't really matter what I think. My opinion's kind of biased because I wrote it. But what do you guys think is my ultimate concern? That's the whole reason I started this fanfic series, was to get critiques from you guys. And also because it's fun. Why the hell not? I do it for fun. You gotta do it for fun. You gotta do what you like for fun. I really had fun writing the episode. I really like the ending in this episode to me the most, because Trent is just running off, and he's got all the spirit now after winning his official trainer battle. He even is cocky enough to be I only wish the gambler was stronger so that I could have tried. So it kind of ruins his good moment. Whenever Trent accomplishes something that takes major skill or recommendation, he'll immediately kill that moment by being too cocky, at least at this point in the series. And Luna is just oh, Jesus Christ, really? So yeah, with that said, they continue to travel down the road, and now they're headed towards River City, which is their next destination for the gym, because that's where the official gym is going to be. And I'm going to go ahead and just say this one now, so you guys won't be wondering, oh, when is that going to happen? It's 5 episodes from now. I'm just going to say that right now. They'll make it in River City in 5 episodes. I try my best not to make the gyms too far, because this whole series as a whole is 100 episodes. So with that said, I had to consider pacing for several, and I do have a guide list to where the gym, what episodes introduce gym leaders and stuff like that. So, but with that said, the next episode is titled, episode 6, Coda's Head, Talos' New Nest. I'll see you all then, everybody. Tyrone the God 3, out.